Ninjas, let's have another quick and good learning of DILR Classics. So as we continue, we are doing one or two sets based on the time, generally one. Sometimes if there is an extension of time, we can do about two, kind of some of the classic learning. So let's continue our journeys as usual, every day, generally around 2ish in the afternoon. So we'll be doing the DILR Classics, and 10ish in the night, we'll be looking at some of the impactful and the important concepts that appear in CAT and various other management entrance exams, right? So let's continue the journey. So before we start, why don't you give a quick confirmation that all is well? So you are all able to hear me out. Things are fine. So is it clear there? Who is there in the, give a quick confirmation as to yes, things are fine out here. All good. Perfect. Yep. That's nice. Yeah. 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 All right. So as you kind of settle down, let me give a quick introduction and some of announcements as you kind of settle down with your book, with your pen, and get your study table right. So here I am. So I am Belvi Srinivas. I worked since 2007 in the test prep organizations in various capacities, both in terms of handling the management as well as the training. Uh, During my tenure, I developed expertise to train students on QA, DI, and LR domains. Here we go. And if you want to interface with me and would like to have interaction with me, probably you can ping me. You can find me here, and then you can do you can ping me there, or you can from there you can do a DM, whichever it is convenient to you. So that's briefly about the background. Coming to quick announcements, so Unacademy offers two types of subscriptions, as we all know. One is a plus subscription, the other one is iconic subscription. If you are looking at a structured way of learning, the structured courses with a weekly tests encapsulated there. So such learning already is available on the plus platform. The iconic subscription gives you access to one-to-one interactions, that is a personal guidance, or be it the one study planner which is customized for you, or it can be the test analysis, so that it can give us it can give a boost to your scores, etc. So iconic generally comes with one-to-one interaction. And here are the subscription fees. So you have 6 months plus subscription, you have 12 months plus subscription, 24 months plus subscription, and if you use the code BELVI100, so you can also avail 10% discount on all these particular courses. Not only on this, even on the iconic subscriptions, it of course comes with a little bit of premium pricing, because there is one-to-one involvement involved here, discussion involvement, and hence yes, it does come with certain premium pricing. So yes, you can use the code even here to avail 10% discount. That's a quickly about the courses being offered at the Unacademy. Yes, so before we start, so I will give a quick idea as to what is that is expected out of you. Okay, Tamanna, welcome, welcome. Prashant has joined in. Okay, good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Keval is there as usual. Deepak, you are also there. Okay, right. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, this is important time. This next 3 to 4 minutes is pretty important time for you. So you got to keep your book and pen ready, which is important. So don't sit without book and pen. So have that right attitude of learning, which is important out there. Keep your book, keep your pen ready, and as you read, you can take the running notes, or you can take the points, whichever way makes sense, but at least try to understand completely. Understanding is very important, and then try to remember some important points, that is retain certain amount of piece of information. Without retention, it becomes very easy to put the dots, connect the dots together. You cannot be looking at the dots in isolation, rather you kind of look at them together and try to put them together in your mind, because most of the mixing up of the things, or mixing up is the wrong word. Most of the integration of the things happen in the mind. For the mind to integrate, it has to remember the data. If the data is not remembered, the integration might not happen. That is what I mean by retain to integrate. Read questions as well, because this sets the expectation. These are very hygiene factors what I'm talking about. Without reading questions, you might not know what is author's expectation. Now, after doing all this, figure out how do you start, or how do you start opening up this particular step. So that is what is most important to me. What is your thought process? Once you did this, how do you organize the data? Always organizing the data starts by how do you start? How do you open up this particular thought? So that's most important there. Spend some time on this. Once you go through the reading part of it, when you read with three objectives. These are the three things. The objective of this entire reading is to understand that how should I unlock this entire puzzle, or this entire this entire entire concept which is given out here. Fair enough. So let's start on this particular note. Let's get started. 4 minutes of your time. So take these 4 minutes, and the questions are also there, so that sets the expectation. Questions are very much important. Yeah. So take that 4 minutes of your quiet time and go through it. This is very important. Use it judiciously, friends. Don't go here and there. These 4 minutes would define how your thought process. Then we can come back and check it out how we can ace this together. Very cryptic puzzle from CAT. It is the CAT set. Only names changed. All words remain same otherwise. All right, guys, this is time. Let's do this together. Time. Let's do this together. Fine. You would have got certain understanding of this. So what I'm trying to say here, a couple of things. Okay. One, so even before you do this, never do the set without actually looking at the questions. That's very important. Never do any set without looking at any of the questions. In the sense, what happens is that in today's world, because of the interface, because of the online nature of the exams, so what is happening there is, so you get the data on this particular side. Data is represented on this particular side. Statement 1, statement 2, all this data is your questions are on the other side of the platform. This is how actually the interface of CAT and most of the exams have been. Right, that's a question. So now this will make us short-sighted. All right, this will make it short-sighted. We see only one question at a time. Only the first question will be there, and we believe that is the moment of truth. And we will try to see the entire data from one question perspective. This is the truth when you look at RCs, solid, when you look this from the perspective of LR or DI, this is the truth. So always remember that, hey, don't look just from one question, go to the second, go to the third, maybe at least about 3 questions. Click the next button. There is always a previous button and the next button, and few other buttons are there. Click the next, and take a look at some questions to understand the author's expectation. This is very important when you look from RCs and the LR and DI, of course. So don't have to read very carefully the question, but one look at the question, your eye span, one look at the question will help you to understand that what is the expectation, and then slowly, gradually, you will learn the calibration of questions as well. As you go along, you will understand that which is the easy question on this, which is the difficult question on this, which one I should do first. And carrying such thoughts, sometimes if you have only 4 or 5 minutes, will ensure that probably you are able to get over a few questions. We will see it here as well. Okay. Coming to this, Keval, you asked one question in between. You said that, okay, whenever these if statements come, is it one way or both the ways? If is always one way. All right. If is always one way. If is different. If not is different. If and only if are different. Please open up your grammar books. Probably you can go through it for a while, which will make a lot of sense. For example, all right, now let's say that if first message is by Charmi, then the last message was by Ekta. Let's assume there are multiple messages. There are 6 messages here. Let me just explain this because Keval has raised this query. If the first message is by Charmi, message number 1, if this is by Charmi, last message number 6 is by Ekta. This is one-way arrow. This is one-way arrow, not the two-way arrow. If I get to know that, hey, message number 6 was by Ekta, therefore, who put the message number 1? Answer, I don't know. Answer, I don't know. Classic example I will give you. If it rains, I carry umbrella. I told you this statement. Let's say that if I made a statement, if it rains, I made a statement to you. If it rains, then I will carry umbrella. Right? I will carry umbrella. That's what I told you. Let's assume this. I'm just giving you a simple example. If it rains, I will carry umbrella. It rains. The clause, all right, I will carry umbrella. Fair enough. Let's call rains carry umbrella. What if it doesn't rain? Right? So what if it doesn't rain? So a lot of things come in here. If it rains, I will carry umbrella. What if it, look at the questions I'm asking now. So if it rains, I'll carry umbrella. Number 1, it rained. Number 1, it rained. Couple of things will happen here. It rained. If it rained means I will carry umbrella. Alright, carrying umbrella. Umbrella is the natural response here because that is what statement said. What about the second response here? It didn't rain. Alright, it did not rain. It didn't rain. Then what is your answer? Your answer is you don't know. You don't know whether I carried or not. It didn't rain, but still I carried it. Alright, but still I carried it because it was too hot. It was too hot. I said that if it rains, I will carry umbrella. Did I ever say that if it doesn't rain, what I will do? That portion of the story you don't know, right? You know one side of it, you have no idea on the other side of it. That's a point there. If it doesn't rain, you have no idea. I may carry umbrella, I may not carry umbrella. There is no answer to this. Similarly, so third one, I carried umbrella. I said I took umbrella. If I say that, hey, I took umbrella. I took umbrella. Therefore, what about the rain? No idea, right? I took umbrella because I want to get it to be repaired. I took umbrella because it was too hot. I took umbrella because I had to give it to, let now give it to someone. So you have no idea why I took the umbrella. Rain need not be the reason for it. So these are the things here. Okay. So this is what the meaning of if. This you learn in grammar. I am not telling you this. Where is the explanation for all of this? Where will I learn these things? Of course, you will learn these things in grammar, right? For example, so even when you learn, all right, now when you learn 12 parts of speech, a lot of people think that there are only 3 parts of speech. Correct. Primarily, there are three parts of speech, right? That is the present tense. All right. There is a present tense, there is a past tense, and there is a future tense. Correct. All right. On the face of it, you all understand that there are three parts of speech. But how much time you took to understand 12 parts of speech? In the present tense, again, you say that, hey, there is a simple present tense. All right. There is a continuous tense, present continuous tense. All right. Simple present, present continuous. Then you will say that, all right, now present perfect, present perfect, then present perfect continuous, then present perfect continuous. There is a difference. When I say simple present tense, message is different. When I tell the same words but use the present continuous tense, I'm trying to convey something else. When I'm trying to say that present perfect tense, I'm trying to convey something else. And when I'm trying to use the present perfect continuous tense, I'm trying to say convey. There is a lot of logic in grammar. That's my point. My point is there is a lot of the logic. It is not just about having the conditional sentence means if then, if not then. It is just not about present, past, and future. Even inside the present, when I have four types, there is a message. There is a different message I'm trying to convey. Similarly, there are four here. Similarly, there are four here. There are 12 types of tenses. I can use the same message, but when I put the same words using different tenses, there is always going to be a shade. There is going to be a change in the meaning. I hope you are getting my point, what I'm trying to say. Okay, anyway, I don't want to talk about the grammar. There are fantastic educators on the platform. They will definitely tell you what it is. But the point is, if you are not clear, these are the simple basic things. You got to spend some time on the grammar for a better understanding of the language, right? Okay, good. Coming back to this, let's come back to this particular puzzle. What I wanted to convey here. See, there is a generic versus specific statements. There is a generic statement versus specific statements. A lot of people ignore generic statements. They'll think that generic statements is nothing much to do when a puzzle is presented. Generic statements gives the framework. It gives the framework. In the sense, it gives the structure. All generic statements in any puzzle gives you a framework or it gives a structure. What are the specifics trying to do? Specific will fill into that particular structure. So that without getting the structure, whatever all the time you spend on the specifics might not make too much sense, right? So there is generic structure you get, and then you try to put the specifics to it. That is point number one. I'm trying to illustrate through this particular puzzle. Where is that structure? So let's come to that. There is a structure or a frame which is given. Then the specifics are will helping us to fulfill that particular structure. Second one, while you are looking at the specifics as well, so when you are looking at the specifics, there are certain things which are mandatory. So in the specifics, all right, now here in this kind of puzzle, what is this kind of puzzle? Is it a seating arrangement? Will I be able to arrange them? No, CAT is not looking at that. You are not looking at any arrangement. Look at the question. Everything starts with if only message. All right, if Brinda left this particular message, each of them can be true except something else. Right now, look at the word here, could be. Could be means possibility, which means what? There are multiple things on the platter out here. There are multiple things. You will not be able to fix certain things out here, but you will get a framework. Within that framework, certain things becomes mandatory. Right now, you will study these kind of topics under selection, etc., etc. Doesn't matter which topic name that you give. But the idea is this. Idea is generic statements gives the structure. Then you look at the specific statements. Inside the specific statements, some of which becomes mandatory, some of them would be optional. Mandatory versus optional parameters. Now, these are the things I am going to talk about. The specifics to specific structure, specific to generic, and then what is mandatory and what was optional. The moment anybody understands this, 6 to 7 minutes, this puzzle gets over, right? So which means in the 4 minutes time, this is the structure I wanted you to get. In the sense, what was specific here? Where is my major structure? Where is the chassis? On the chassis, I'm going to build certain things, right? Okay, let's take a look at this. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? Making sense? Are you all with me? You understood the generic pattern, what I'm trying to communicate today? The communication parameters are clear. Let us look into that in detail. This is an illustration of the parameters. Just an illustration of it. Yeah. Some of you quickly give that confirmation in the chat. Okay. All right. Keval is clear. Prashant is clear. All right. So let's now take a look at this. Let's see. Let me organize this particular data. Therefore, let's me go ahead and organize this particular data. All right, Mohit, you are also there? Okay, good. Fine, let's take a look at this. Let me illustrate. Where is the generic structure here? The firstly read it very critically. Each message was left by only 6 of them. Each message is left by 6 of them. These are the two generic statements. These are the generic. What does the generic statement do? It gives the structure to this particular puzzle. Let's understand where is the structure to this particular puzzle. At most, which means maximum, one person left more than one message, implies that the character names are A, B, C, D, E, and F. These are the 6 characters. It is not possible that two messages are left by A, two messages are left by B, one message by C, one message by D. This is not possible based on the first statement. This is not possible based on the first statement. How does it start? It starts by saying that at most means maximum one person left more than one message. Fair enough. But there are two people who are leaving more than one message here. Here there are two people. Therefore, this is not possible. What can be possible? The two messages are left by A and one message by B, one message by C, one message by D, and one message by E. 6 messages are there. Is this possible? This is possible because there is one person who left more than one message. Okay, yeah, that's because at most, maximum one person. What is minimum? Nobody. Minimum can be this. Everybody left one message. A, B, C, D, E, F. A left one message, B left one message, C left one message, and so on up to F. This is possible. And this is possible. Why the first one was possible? Because only one person has left more than one message. At most means maximum one. What is minimum? 0. Nobody left a single message. That is also possible. At most one person can leave one message. Okay. If at most one person left more than one message, because it said more than one message, can it be possible that all 5 messages are left by A and one message is left by B? This also should be possible. If you look at only the first statement, more than one message means what? 5 messages are left by one person and only one of the messages is left by somebody else. Correct. But that is been limited by the second statement. Now read the second statement. It says that, hey man, 5 messages cannot be left by somebody else. We know that one person can leave multiple messages, but how many that could be? It says that no person left more than 3 messages. We said here 5 messages by A. 5 is not possible. 3 is possible. That is what it is trying to tell us. 3 is possible. Now, by the time you read the first and second statement, you got the structure in place. You got the structure in place. Where is the structure? Let's understand this. So there are 6 messages. Let me simply put it here. I'm not putting the order. I'm not putting any order here. I'm only illustrating where is the structure to this. All right, where is that structure I'm talking here? Okay, first one. All 6 messages are left by different people. I am not organizing the data. I am only explaining the structure. A, B, C, D, E, F. All 6 messages can be left by 6 different people. Or it is possible that 2 messages are left by the same person and then the remaining messages are left by the different people. Now, who are those different people? I don't know. I'm telling you because no message here, no message is left by more than one person. Here, one message is left by 2 messages. 2 messages are by the same person. 2 messages by the same person. Third one, 3 messages by the same person. Which is that person? I don't know. A is a dummy. 3 messages by the same person. 3 messages by the same person, which means, all right, which means these are the 3 structures. These are the 3 structures, which means in the first structure, according to the first structure, 6 messages are left by 6 different people. 6m by 6p, which means 6 messages are left by 6 different people. Possible. Second one, 6 messages are dropped by 5 different people. 6 messages are dropped by 5 different people because A left 2 messages, then B, C, D, and E. 6 messages are because of 5 different people. Third one, 6 messages can be because of 4 different people. This is the framework. This is the framework author is trying to tell with the first 2 statements. The moment you read the first 2 statements, this should be clear. What should be clear? 6 messages can be left by 6 different people, or it can be left by 5 different people, or it can be left by 4 different people. That is the first thought, which means, hey, is that the meaning hidden in the first 2 sentences? Yes. If anybody gets such idea the moment they read the question, which means that, hey, you are understanding really fast, you are understanding really quick, so therefore it will take very less time for you, maybe 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, I don't know, right, based on the speed and the comprehension at which you go about. And then questions also have ifs and buts, therefore it might take little more time, so about 7 minutes or 8 minutes. So but the point is, the moment you read the first 2 statements, this is the message you should be getting. 6 messages can be dropped by 6 different people, or 6 messages can be because of 5 different people, 6 messages can be just because of 4 different people. All right, that is the message there. Okay, first 2 statements are clear. First two statements are clear, everyone? Can you give a quick confirmation that the first two statements are clear to us? Is this clear? Now let us fit this framework. First two messages are clear. Can I understand that the first two conditions where I marked it, generic statements? Did we understand the structure given by the generic statement? When we said generic, how it is putting the structure in our mind? That's clear. Very good. All right. Now let's come to the specifics. Now let's come to the specifics. Okay, let's record this somewhere else. Let's just record it. 6 messages can be because of 6 people, or the 6 messages can be because of 5 people, or 6 messages can be because of 4 people. Right, now let's come to the specific. Now where are the specifics? The specifics are here. The remaining 4 statements are trying to tell us something specific. If the first message is by Charmi, then the last one is by Ekta. Okay, let me record it somewhere. M1 is by C. If the M1 is by C, then M6, because there is M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6, then the M6 is by E. I will put one-sided arrow, which means what? If the last message is by Ekta, doesn't mean that the first message is by Charmi. All right, it doesn't mean that. Okay, this is the first condition. This is the condition. No, there is no arrangement. I just have to understand the conditions. Second one, if Brinda left any message, Ashok and Ekta also leave the message. Again, if you think that Brinda has left a message, if Brinda leaves a message, then Ashok and Ekta also will leave a message. But that doesn't mean that Ashok left a message, therefore Brinda will leave a message. No. Brinda leaves a message, then Ashok and Ekta will leave a message. Now look at the beauty of this. If you have understood the triggers, already it would have been useful. Now A is there, the next statement is starting with A. Next statement is starting with A. If Ashok left any message, then Ekta and Farooq also left the message. It is triggering. The thoughts are getting triggered because see, B triggers A. It's fantastic here. B triggers A. It is like rolling ball gathers the moss. B triggers A and A triggers F. I mean, of course, A and E also. B triggers A and E. Now, A is triggering E and F. It's one thing leading to another thing, basically. Okay. Not only that, now A triggers E. Of course, you may say that no, B also triggers E. Doesn't matter which way you think. So let's say that A triggers E. Therefore, next statement, look at that. If Ekta left a message, Charmi and David also left a message. It is a trigger. Now B triggers. Now E gets triggered and he says that C and D also will join the party, which means, listen very, very carefully. This is what I wanted to understand. That's what I mean by comprehension. What I meant is if B is triggered, which means if B sends a message, A sends a message, E sends a message, F sends a message, C sends a message, and D sends a message. Fantastic. Which means that if B is sending a message, all the remaining 5 people send the message. There is no choice in the matter. Then nicely, all right, this was a cat set. How beautifully he has given, see, all right, one thing leading to another thing. He didn't bother to confuse you. You could have even done that. Hey, this statement I will write it last. This statement I will write it first. Then the triggering might have taken some time. Had he interchanged it, the triggers might have taken some time. But how beautifully sometimes the authors help us. They said that, hey, I will put them in the order. But at least you understand that the triggers are very, very clear. One thing is triggering the other thing. This ball is going and hitting some other ball. That ball is going and hitting some other ball. Ultimately, all 6 messages have been hit, which means all 6 people dropped one single message out here. That is the point out here, right? I will explain this once again if you want here. Now look at this. Let's look at these statements 2, 3, and 4. Let me explain the second one. B. If B sends a message, A and E also sends a message. The moment A sends a message, it triggers. A sends a message, E and F also sends a message. Alright, yeah. Then E sends a message. Next one, E sends a message. C and D also sends a message. All 6 distinct names have come up. A is here, B is here, A is here, second distinct one. E is here, the third distinct one. F is here, the fourth. C is here, fifth. D is here, sixth. All 6 people send a message, which means if B sends a message, it triggers the remaining 5. Very beautiful puzzle. If B sends a message, all 6. Now look at this. If all 6 people are messaging, then B is there. B triggers this particular thought. If B is not there, then it is not necessary that all 6 would be messaging there. Okay, is this point clear to you? This trigger point is clear to you? How one thing was leading to another thing when you read this puzzle? Is this clear? Triggering is clear. Those who are there from the beginning, you understood the triggering, how the triggering is happening here. One statement triggers the another statement. Give me a quick confirmation, friends. Are you clear about this trigger? How it's triggering one thought, one statement triggering another statement, right? Okay, you are getting that. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, at least three of you are getting that. I'm hoping that others are also joining. See, if you have just joined in somewhere in between, please watch it from the beginning. That makes sense, because in the logic especially, it is not like a quant or something you hop in between and trying to make some sense could be really, really challenging, because you have to get the message. It is not about solving the set. It is more often about the message behind the sets, which makes a lot of sense. Fair enough. All right. Now let's see this. Okay. If all six are there, let me write that to perspective. Now let me write it to perspective. Six messages by six people means A, B, C, D, E, and F. This happens only when B sends a message. That is the thought. This happens the moment B is there. Confirmation. 100% confirmed. The moment B is there, 100% confirmed that everybody has sent a message here. All right. So when this solid, now look at this. By now you would have understood. All right. Now six messages by five people. When is the sixth message by five people is possible? B is not there. B is not there. Therefore, trigger start from A, C, D, E, F. A, C, D, E, F. That is the trigger. You may say that, yeah, start from here. Start from here. When A sends a message, start here. When A sends a message, E sends a message, and F sends a message. Now E triggers it, because if E is already there, then E triggers this one. So because E has triggered, C sends a message and D sends a message. Are there five characters? C, A is there, E is there, F is there, C is there, D is there. Then who is not there? B is not there. If B is not there, that is what you mean by five people messaging. But who is that person who is repeating the message? That I don't know. That I don't know. When five people send six messages, I am very sure after reading this puzzle that B is not the one who has sent this particular message. Simple. B is not the one who has sent this particular message. Fair enough. All right. Now you may think that, okay, so when is this six messages are sent by only four people? Six messages are sent only by four people. This time, B is also not there. A is also not there. Then who are these four people? C sends a message, D sends a message, E sends a message, and F sends a message. Therefore, no matter which case you are talking about, no matter which case you are talking about, this is the mandatory component. Without CDEF, this messaging is impossible. CDEF is there in the first case. There are four cases. CDEF is there in the second case. CDEF is there in the third case, because we said there are three cases. In the first case, six messages are sent by six people. Second case, six messages are sent by five people. Third case, six messages are sent by four people. The point is, who are these four people? These four people are nothing but CDEF. These are the four people I'm talking about. Hey, which are the five people? CDEF along with A, that becomes the five people. Who are the six people? Anyway, we know A, B, C, D, E, F. That is the point there. See, this is what author wanted you to quickly understand without really fighting against this particular question. See, you can say that, sir, I didn't understand all this and I might not really understand this, but still can I do some questions? Yes, still you can do some questions. It's like you get into the swimming pool and you treat water like an enemy. Some people, when I get into the swimming pool, I see some people swimming like they'll be banging the water to keep their bodies afloat. Hey, water is not an enemy. Water is a medium to move from point X to point Y. Now I see some people now streamlining so well. They're just moving. The water is just now, so it's just moving little bit. Otherwise, like a streamlined motion. Hardly they are troubling the water, troubling themselves. By doing that, what happens? They can swim longer. They can do lap after lap. The fellow who is beating the water will get tired very soon, right? So likewise, RCs. If you struggle to do RCs, you are struggling to get some logics in LR. What happens is you will not get the best efficiency in 120 minutes. Your mind cannot sustain 120 minutes of CAT time, right? You need to find your approaches right. That's when what happens is you will be streamlining, you will be more efficient in the given time. That is the point I'm trying to make. I'm not saying that, hey, what if somebody does not get these three methods, three approaches, in the sense like three cases are there, this is what happens. Yes, with training you will get it. If I am getting it, why don't you get it? It's the same CAT puzzle for you, for me as well, right? If I am getting it, you will also get it. So but the point is, carry somewhere the orientation that, hey, generic statements will give me the structure. Where is the structure here? These first three cases is because of the first two statements. It gave you the structure of thinking. It gave you the structure of thinking. Then the specifics. The remaining statements try to tell you that what is mandatory between this and what is optional between this. What is mandatory? C, D, E, F are mandatory. What was optional? A and B were optional. Okay, that is the complete message of this particular puzzle before we get to the questions. You got the complete picture? Picture is clear in your mind? Quick. Everybody, picture is clear. My keywords are clear. What you meant by generic, because in a lot of puzzles you find generic statement. A lot of people don't understand the importance of it. Is this clear? Today it is clear that what is generic, what is specific, what becomes mandatory, what becomes optional, being clear about such thought process. Clear? Did it make sense? Did it make sense, everyone? Why only Keval is saying that it's clear? Others still struggling to understand? Are you still struggling to understand this? Prashant, you are clear. Good. Okay. All right. Those who joined in between, you might struggle because you got to come to the story from the beginning, right? Only then it will start making some sense, right? Yeah. Otherwise, it might not make some sense. Okay. Now, if you look at this, say, what were the sitters here? All right. If you look at this, all right, what were the sitters? The second question was a sitter. The second question was a sitter. Second question was a sitter because the moment, look at this, the moment Brinda comes, Brinda is referring to the first case. The moment Brinda comes, all it is referring to the first case. There are three cases here. It simply refers to the first case. Say, what is the first case there? All six people will be there because Brinda is there. If Brinda left the fifth message, okay, there is another smaller minor aspect. What was the minor aspect? All of Ekta's messages come before Farooq's messages, right? So let me write it as the fifth point. All of Ekta's message come before Farooq's message. All of Ekta's message come before Farooq's message. There is another minor point 6 here. All of Charmi's message come before David's message, right? Which implies something like, hey, can it be possible that Ekta sent two messages? So Ekta's message here, and then you write Farooq's message here, and then Ekta's message here. That's not possible. If Ekta has sent two messages, all the Ekta's messages should come before Farooq's message, right? These are the two minor points. I underlined them. These are two minor points. Okay, let's keep these minor points in mind. And Charmi has two conditions. Listen to me. All right, this is one condition with Charmi, and there is another condition with Charmi. Right, rest of them we already kind of understood and it is done. Let's go to second question. This was a sitter. Why? Because anybody who understood the puzzle a little bit would have treated this question like a sitter. If Brinda left the fifth message, then which one of the following message cannot have been left by Farooq? All right, Farooq did not. So there are six messages. There is message 1, message 2, message 3, 4, 5, and 6. There are six messages. Okay, let me put that question clearly to you. Yeah, here is the question. If Brinda left the fifth message, then which of the following is the message? Well, which of the following messages cannot have been left by the Farooq? Call it which cannot be left by the Farooq. Very simple here, my friends. Look at this minor condition. All the messages of Farooq should come after Ekta's message. When Brinda has left a message, all six people have sent the message A, B, C, D, E, and F. By now, we also know that these are the four people. It's a mandatory that these four people will send a message, which means E always sends a message before F. Here it is, E always sends a message before F. The first message, which of the following cannot be, not, the word is not, cannot have been left by Farooq. Very simple, Farooq's cannot be the first message. Very simple, choice becomes A. Because why? Because all six of them have left the message. In any other words, C, D, E, F are mandatory. E's message will come always before F message. So therefore, you will close that particular question, right? Okay, I hope all of you understood this. Let me go to the first question here. Let's take a look at the first question. Questions are simple because the entire concept has been laid down in front of you. First one, the first and the last messages on the answering machine could be the first and the second message left by which one of the following person? Which one of the following person? So what we do, could be, the answer is all it know which one, all it left by. Could means a possibility. For a possibility, what you try to do, try to eliminate the options. Elimination can be a best option, or take it and try that whether it is possible or not, right? Take something and try it out whether it is possible or not. Okay, one thing is very clear. C, D, E, and F are mandatory, right? C, D, E, F, these four people sending the message is mandatory. Okay, now all the messages of C should come before D. Now listen to this. All the messages of C should come before D. Therefore, C cannot send the first and the last message, right? C cannot, because it said that the first and the last message are sent by the same person. Is it possible that C can send the first and the last message? Never possible. It's a mandatory pair. mandatory pair. All the messages of C here, all the messages of C come before D. So therefore, C cannot send the first and the last message and squeeze in the D's message in between. Not possible. Therefore, C cannot be the person who send the first and the last message. D also cannot be the person who sent the first and the last message. Why? Because C and D are always there in the pair. If D sends the first message, then where will C send the message? Then C's message will become the 0th message. That is also not possible. Same thing applies to E also. Why? Because simply put that all messages of E, condition number 5, E and F is a mandatory pair and all messages of E should come before F. Therefore, anybody who would have understood that CDEF is a mandatory pair, or mandatory CDEF send mandatory messages, between this C and D are interlinked and E and F are interlinked, outrightly will eliminate B, C and D choices. Simply it becomes choice A. I hope you are following this. Are you following this, my friends? Are you following what I'm trying to say? If anybody understood that CDEF is mandatory pair and understood the condition 5 and 6, it hardly takes any time to pick the choices. Hardly takes any time to pick the choices. I hope it's making sense. Mohit, Prashant, Keval, making sense? Good. Hanan, you sent a message. That's nice. Nice to hear from you. Right, right, right. Very good. Why don't you answer the third question? You put the answer to the third question. Quick, quick. Now that the entire puzzle is in front of you, you answer the third question. Get me the answer to the third one. Put in the chat. Quickly put in the chat. Oh, why it is taking so long? Okay, let's do this. Could again, all right, now which of the following could? Could means possibility. All right, could is just a possibility. There is no certainty. Don't try to arrange. It's just a possibility. Okay, if only message Ekta left was the fifth message. Fifth message is by Ekta. Then the sixth message will be by Farooq. Clear. That's it. All right, sixth message is going to be by Farooq based on what? Courtesy statement 5. Right here, statement 5, because all messages of E should come before F. Okay, therefore the sixth message is by Farooq is very, very clear. Right, yeah, Farooq. So therefore, statement number 2 is out. Farooq left exactly 2 messages is out, because all right, now all messages of Ekta will come before Farooq, which we know. So all messages of Ekta will come before Farooq's message. So therefore, it is ruled out. Farooq sending 2 messages is clearly ruled out. Okay, yeah. Ekta left the fifth message. Then which of the following? So now Charmi left the first message. That is also out because of the courtesy statement 1. Statement 1. Because if Charmi has left the first message, then who should leave the sixth message? It should be by E. Therefore, saying that Charmi left the first message is ruled out. Therefore, option 1 is also ruled out. Right? Option 1 is also ruled out. Now, coming to the third statement, David left exactly 2 messages. David is leaving how many messages? 2 messages. Okay, yeah. Is it possible that David can leave 2 messages? Possible. David left a message here, David left a message here, Charmi left a message here, and then A left a message here, because we already know from the case 1, if B is there, then all of them will come. So David left 2 messages is possible. David left 2 messages is possible. I showed you the arrangement. So which are the 2 messages here? Up before that, Charmi. Why? According to statement 6, Charmi's messages should come before David's message. Okay, second message is by Charmi. Then who left the first message? First message is left by A. Somebody some person by name Amar or whatever was this, right? So that is the first one. Possible, that is possible. Okay, if I want to go with the elimination technique, try and see that fourth one, eliminate. David left the second message. That is not possible, because if David leaves the second message, I'll understand this. That was easy to eliminate. If David left the second message, then the first message should be by C, because all messages of C should come before D. C has to come because these are the four mandatory people. We already understood that without C, D, E, F, this messaging machine is incomplete, right? This all they should have done this. C, D, E, F, all four of them should have left this particular message, and hence you say that 4 is ruled out, because if David is sending the second message, sorry, if David is sending the second message, then the first message should have been sent by the Charmy, which is not possible, because if Charmy sends the first message, the last message will be sent by E, all right, but the last message is already sent by F. Okay, is it making sense? Clear? Is it making sense? Third one is the right option. See, look, sometimes despite having understood the puzzle, we end up picking the wrong options. Is this clear to all of you? Third one is the right option. Should I explain again, or did you understand? Everybody understood this? You understood? Hanan, did you understand this? You understood this question? Appears pretty critical. Clear? Right? Yeah. Be clear about the possibilities. CAT most of the time they talk about the possible, impossible, maxima, minima, right? These are the ones what CAT will be more interested in, right? Honestly, CAT is more interested in such things, because that is what builds the algorithm in your mind, right? Because you will come out with the processes. Once you become managers, what you do you execute the process, or do you set up the process? You generally end up in setting up the process, which is time consume, which is time saving, at the same time cost saving, right? Most efficient processes is what you are set. Once the process is set, either it is going to be, or either it is going to be executed by people or executed by machines, right? So that is what we call them. Sometimes these days the robotics is also is a big area. Machines will execute it, or men will execute it. Once the men get trained slowly, all right, we will start training the machine as well. That is how the machine learning works, right? But then what is that your role? Your role is to set up the processes. Setting up the processes comes with possibilities, impossibilities, the maxima, minima. They will not say that, hey, you will give the full arrangement, you put it in perspective. I'm sure all right, cat will give just about one set like that. They may not be interested in anything beyond that. So before that, they will always stretch the boundaries. What is the maxima minima trying to do? It is trying to say upper limit, the lower limit. It is trying to stretch your imagination. Possibilities means what? Many possibilities are there. It is trying to stretch your imagination. This is what CAT more often than not it does. If you look at the last 3-4 years papers, this is what you kind of pattern wise you kind of understand it. Train yourself at that particular level. Sure, there was the fourth question which you can answer very easily. Each of the following must be true except. All right, each of the following must be true except. David left at least one message. True. All right, because we know that C, D, E, F is a mandatory pair. We know that these four are mandatory. Optionals are A and B only. David left at least one message. Correct. Without which it is not possible. Farooq left at least one message. Correct. Charmy left at least one message. Correct. Therefore, D is the option. Correct answer is going to be D. Right. All these three statements are true. He said that except one statement, everything is true. Which is that statement? D is the statement which is not true, because it says that exactly one person left at least two messages. No, when B leaves a message, everybody will leave one message each. Therefore, D need not be necessarily true. All right, yeah, that brings us to the closure of the lecture. What did we learn? We understood the power of generic statements. Generic statements gives the framework. Generic statements gives the framework or the structure to your thinking. Well, it need not be to express. Framework does not mean that should I arrange something there. No, it gives a structure to your thinking. All right, that's what it does. The specifics will try to fill that particular gaps in the frame. Right, that is what the specifics do. And whenever you are looking at the conditional statements, etc., just be mindful that, hey, which are the mandatory components? There could be mandatory components and there could be optional components. In our case, in this particular puzzle, C, D, E, F were mandatory. The realization of that could have been important here, and A and B were optional. If somebody would have understood this particular structure, you could have aced it much faster, with much ease, with much efficiency, right? So that brings to the closure of this particular lecture. So let me do some quick announcements before we close this, some of this. Yeah. So here we go. So we'll have tonight we'll have at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Tonight at 10 p.m. So we'll be doing a question. We'll be doing the concept of variation. So there are five types. There are five types when we look at the questions that appear in exams in the variations. I will speak about all these five types, as much as at least if not five, how many ever possible. Let's see. All five types I will try and cover in tonight's lecture. Just be there. And I will be planning the special classes from 1st of September and also some of the plus classes from the 1st of September. The good thing there is your lecture notes will be made available and it will be much concentrated group. So where people with similar interests would come and join me. So here, already you can use the code Belvi100 already while you are trying to look for the lectures, or put it as Cat Ninjas. You will find all the lectures that we have done in the past. Put it as Cat Ninjas. Cat Ninjas 1.0. So you'll find all the previous lectures already both on the platforms. Yep. All right. So if you have liked this particular lecture, you have liked the way we are presenting it, the way the examples we are illustrating, don't hesitate. Click the like button on this particular YouTube video, and then you can also share this particular link with others. Let them also watch it. Let them also join us in numbers. So if you have not downloaded the app, probably you can download the app. If you are new to the platform, download this particular app. While you are downloading and trying to key in your credentials, it will ask for the code. You can use the Belvi100 as the code to unlock some of its features, right? Yeah. And closure comments, quickly the closure comments. Some of the new batches have been launched on the Plus platform on 25th, that's yesterday. For CAT 21 and CAT 22, other management entrance take a test like NMAT or SNAP or things like that, right? Also, you have MHCET 21, three different kind of batches have been launched. So some of the finest educators are taking these particular groups, and if you want to be a part of something, you can. You want to stay back and have to communicate with me something, you can stay back for a while. So after that, you can put your suggestions, or right now, some of you want to put some comments or the suggestions, you can put it out there. CAT Iconic one-to-one mentoring. So that also you can subscribe for this. So one-to-one mentoring that you are looking at, test score improvement that you are looking at, or you are looking at the study plan for the next 3 months or so. So whatever that already, if there is a one-to-one interfacing requirement, that's when you can go for CAT Iconic. And some of the previous year CAT toppers will be speaking to you, they'll be guiding with you, and they'll be sharing your experience, how they plan the stuff, things like that. Yeah, there is a limited edition offer going on as of now. So if you're looking at CAT 22 or CAT 23 kind of programs, you can go for these subscriptions. 24 months, you will get 3 months free. That makes it about 15 months. Similarly, 2-year subscription, it makes it at 3 months free. So you can use the code Belvi100 whenever some interaction comes or some code has been asked on the Unacademy platform. Yeah. Okay, if you are still in the college campus, still on the campus, in the sense like colleges might not be open everywhere. So, but then you are a part of the campus, you can enroll yourself for the campus ambassador program. So as you enroll, you will understand what are the constraints and what is the expectation. So while you are trying to do the audit, so what are the benefits that you get? Audit, you get some incentives for this, you get the certification. Sure, these certifications, etc., would help you when you are trying to apply for some interviews. Yeah, in various other ones, this shows that initiatives of your leadership skills, etc. So you can be a part of it and at the same time win some goodies as well there. Yes, this is the big thing. I'll let the big one. I'll let now. So not so you have this mega cat mega combat, that is nothing but the test. It's a 1 hour test, doesn't take much time. It just takes about an hour to complete this particular test. Some of you already resent taking these particular tests, but take it at least from the winning the lucky draw. Sure, all right, the top 200 people, those who score well, the top 200 people are surely given those goodies. Other than these top 200 people, there would be another 250 people. Just because you participated, you are also going to get some goodies like some of the smart gadgets, so 250 of the participants will be drawn based on the lucky draw. Yeah, block this time, that is 12 on 29, that is Sunday. It's just from 12 to 1 p.m. All right, try to be there. So and win some of your all right. So if you are lucky enough, win some of the gifts out there. Yes. Any comments? This is the time you can put your comments. Otherwise, once the live chat is closed, you can always type the comment there. You can type the comments in the comment section of the video. So I will come back and respond to some of your comments. That's all right. And you can always, if you always like the training, so you can always put forth your views and then you can press the like button. Yeah. Great. All right. Thanks, Cable. Thank you. So if nothing to communicate from your end to me, so then we will close the lecture here. So I will see you at 10 p.m. in the night. Bye till then. So have your dinner, come back, and let's continue the journey at 10ish in the night. Bye till then.